Hello, guys, and welcome to the bottom five games that we have played in 2016. Now, I know I'm with Flarey.
Hi.
Now,
Don't forget I'm here.
don't forget. Now, I know that there's probably worse games than the games we have on the list that are out there, but we did not play them. So this is bottom five games that we played in 2016. So if you have a game worse than some of the games that are on our list, well,
Give us your list down below in the comments.
yeah, you could do that.
Yay.
I was gonna say, go fuck yourself, but yeah, put it down
that
there.
too.
Put it
Give us
down
your
there.
list and then go fuck yourself.
Yeah, your list sucks.
Number 5.
My number 5 is Street Fighter V. The reason I have it at number 5, or on number 5 on the bottom 5 list, is because at the time of launch, and I know they had a DLC story since then, I wasn't able to play that, but at launch, it was half a game. It was a couple modes. The story, the story, quote unquote, that they put into it was not good. It was, you had like 2 or 3 fights. Sometimes you had a couple fighters with 4 fights, and that was it. You finished it in a couple hours and it was over. And then there was no other modes other than online. There was nothing. There was nothing to it. It had great fighting mechanics, but it seemed like they only put effort into the fighting mechanics, and that's why it's on the bottom 5 list. Because in games in 2016, you can't half-ass games like that and expect people not to be pissed, and people were pissed about it because of the half a game. I gave it a 5 out of 10 on I did a review of that because it was half a game, so 5 out of 10 makes sense because it's half. So so that's why I made Street Fighter V number 5.
For my number 5, I went with Watch Dogs 2. My reason is that I wasn't completely impressed with the story mode. It didn't seem like it really flowed anywhere, and it was sort of all jumbled up. And the online stuff that me and Travis did, it was, well, the online missions were alright, but we just wanted to play the story online, and there was none of that. And you had to play the story to get more online missions as well, and it was just a big jumbled mess, really. There was like three or four games I could put in this number, but Watch Dogs 2 is my number 5. I'd rate it like maybe a 6 out of 10.
I didn't even play that game but I didn't play much of it.
I did, but I wasn't very impressed.
I was like, oh, look at these better games. Okay.
Exactly. But yeah, Watch Dogs 2 is my number 5.
Number 4.
My number 4 is Zombies on a Plane. It falls at number 4. The reason it doesn't fall lower is because I'm pretty sure it was an indie game. So a lot of these other games weren't indie games. But Zombies on a Plane was the most pointless game I've ever played in my entire life. And I know there's more pointless games out there than that game. And I know, but there's so many. It was just so pointless. Like, you basically wake up on a plane, you shoot zombies. Like, and I know it's, that should be expected when you hear the name of the game. But then there's one part where you fly the plane and basically you just do like circles on a plane until the zombies fall off. It's the most pointless game you will ever play in your entire life. If you love pointless games, you found one for you. But like I said, the only reason it doesn't fall higher on this list is because it's an indie game. I held the games above it at a higher standard. But Zombies on a Plane was pretty pointless. Very pointless, and that's why I have it at number 4.
And for my number 4, I have Quantum Break, which was an Xbox One exclusive game. And oh my god, did it suck. There was quite a lot of hype behind it that I remember. A lot of people wanted, because I imagine all the Xbox One fanboys had quite a lot of hype behind it, but it was not a very good game. The shooting mechanics were a bit wonky at best. The powers were sort of cool, but they were kind of hard to really use. This my real experience with the game, but other than that, it was just not a very good game for me. Did it have Dominic Monaghan in it though? That's probably the only plus.
The main guy.
There you go.
The main guy is pretty good. I like the main guy as an actor, but yes.
And then the villain was Littlefinger in Game of Thrones as well. So the only plus points are just the actors in the game.
Not to chime in on every single one of yours, but I think a lot of the big issues with Quantum Break is they try to turn it into like a half Netflix show instead of letting people play through said stuff.
Oh yeah, there was that as well. There was like the 75 gigabyte download for like a full series, which you should just put it on Netflix. Really, not made a game out of it.
People want to play stuff in a video game, not watch it. This is an awesome cutscene, but that doesn't count.
Number 3.
So number 3 kind of goes hand in hand for us. So we can kind of do that joint. We have the same number 3.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan. The game had potential there. There was potential there, but it was broken.
It was.
I remember we quit. I quit it. You did quit it. I quit it for both of us.
Yeah.
Because it was so broken. There was one mission where we couldn't get to the end of it without it kicking us.
Yeah.
And it wasn't us because we played many games before without it kicking us. That game was the devil of that. And plus, I'm a stickler for Ninja Turtles games because I want there to be a good Ninja Turtles game.
Since what was the last one? Was it like the 64 or something?
Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo.
I can't remember what it was called, but there was one on the Super Nintendo that was really good. I really enjoyed.
You played a little bit of that before the game.
I've played it on stream before, but the thing with Bob kept crashing, so I couldn't.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it was that Ninja Turtles game. I can't remember what it was called, but it's not the game's fault. Anyway, it was a grind. It was a grind that always ended with a boss battle, and the boss battles were usually cool because it was usually one of the main villains from the show, as boss battles would be.
Yeah.
But it just fell short because of how broken it was. And a lot of the grindiness of it usually doesn't bother me as much because you grind it in a lot of games, but it just leading up to the boss battle, it seemed completely pointless.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything other than fight. There was no like side things. You just had to do what they said, and if you didn't do what they said, you can go fuck yourself. And then
they literally give you like a large map, but only really one objective, and that's to just get to this place and then fight the boss. That was about it.
Yeah. And the key, the moral of this is just get everything away from fucking Activision. They finally ripped Spider-Man away from Activision. It's time now because they not only did they release this Ninja Turtles game, but they also released a movie license game for the newer movie.
Yeah.
And it's just like stop. Like I didn't even know that existed. Until I looked it up later, and I'm just like, there was a fucking movie license game. Like, Activision needs to be stopped, and we need better Ninja Turtles games because I feel like it could be done well. There's enough good villains within the Ninja Turtles universe so that you can make a good game out of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's getting squandered, and this game is one of the...
They literally just put every single bad guy from TMNT into one game.
Yeah.
So there was that as well. It kind of felt really mess.
Which would be fine if leading up to that wasn't like boring. But it was really boring. It was broken, and that's why I had it at number 3, and I'm sure that's why Flarey had it at number 3.
Number 2.
My number 2, this is going to be interesting, is Tom Clancy's The Division. Speaking of pointless, actually, there a lot of the games on this list are pointless, and that's why they fall here. But it was, it was stupid. It didn't do it did what it was trying to do, but they also kind of lied to us because they showed, I can't remember what was that, the Black Zone or whatever?
The
Or whatever
Dark Zone or whatever.
The Dark Zone,
I
yeah.
can't remember what it was called.
They showed the trailer, and there was like 4 of them. It's a huge map, and then you look at the game, there's one of them. The map isn't as big. There's like 4 enemy types total. The character customization sucks. The boss battles are just bullet sponges. The boss battle at the end is some dude in a fucking helicopter you never met the whole game, and then when it's over, you're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
There's no ending credits.
There's no ending credits. You're like, did it end?
And that's not around for another hour. So
did it end? You catch yourself just like walking around some more, looking around, like, is it over? But it's not as good as it seemed like it was gonna be. Like, there was potential. The reason it falls here for me is there was so much fucking potential within the game that was not capitalized on. And there was a lot of people saying that it did what it set out to do. Well, if it set out to be shit, it did it. Because, I understand what it was trying to do, but, like, they didn't put much effort into it. Like, the city itself looked good. But that's the most I could say about the game, because, like I said, there was not many enemy types. They used the enemy types over and over again. They just leveled them up based on the. I mean, you had, what was it, 4? There was like 4 enemy types, I think. But
yeah, there's the Rikers, the firemen. I'm just gonna call them firemen. I can't remember what I think it was the cleaners or something like that.
It was.
And then you had the thugs, I think. I don't know. There was another one as well, but I can't remember what it's called. Yeah,
there was 4. And, like, you get to, like, a quote-unquote boss battle, and it was just a fucking bigger version of that fucking enemy type. Yeah. You're just like, what the fuck?
Ultra armor.
It was like, what? You just threw a giant in the same code and called him a thing. And it was stupid for me. I bought the game 4 times, and I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And... because I bought it 4 times because I had high hope. I was looking for a co-op game to play with people on stream, play with Flarey, play with whoever, and I got caught up in this whole co-op thing, and it failed me. I even played the beta first, but I think when we played the beta, I thought it was gonna be like it was gonna lead somewhere. Like, obviously, they're not gonna show everything in the beta.
Yeah.
And basically, what we got was what was in the beta. Is basically
a few story missions and then the Dark Zone for like 3 hours.
Yeah. That story mission at the beginning where you go through Madison Square Garden, that's the best story mission in the entire game, and that was in the beta.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why I have The Division at number 2.
And for my number 2, I have everybody's favorite game, No Man's Sky. Now, this game was a complete waste of time. The developers lied about everything in the game, pretty much. So a lot of things they promised didn't happen, and there was no point to getting to the center of the galaxy or really doing anything. It was very tedious. The only good thing is that I thought was just the beginning where you're collecting stuff and then you set off. That was probably the only enjoyable part of it. But everything else just fell flat on its face. I mean, the planet exploration was kind of cool, but it really got boring after 9 hours of playing it. So, yeah. That's No Man's Sky is at number 2 for me.
Number 1.
My number 1, same as the number 2 for the old Flare Bear, is No Man's Sky. Go more intensive into this. Basically, summing up the game for me, there was this part where I went to a planet, and it was like a desert planet, and I looked through, and it said it had no life on it at all, and that pretty much sums up the game for me. This game had no life. But they showed in the trailers, they showed portals being something, they showed space combat, they kept talking about being able to find your friends in the universe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Space combat. Oh my god, did I hate space combat?
They kept talking about being able to find your friends within this big universe and doing that. They kept showing like flying awesome looking sea creatures, all this awesome looking shit, and they didn't do any of it. You know, you're going to delay the game as many times as they delayed it until people are getting pissed at you. You're delaying it so many times, and this is what you're putting out. If you're going to delay it, delaying the game is supposed to make the game look better, not, you know, what you do when you delayed it. You're like, shit, we can't do this. We have to cut half of it out, but keep telling people we did it. So that's why No Man's Sky is number one for me, because it's just, they're lying fucking assholes. It's not a good game either. But you tack on, it's just as bad as almost the rest of these games, except for maybe Zombies on a Plane, in this list. And the fact that they lied to us so much about almost everything is why it's number one. It has to be number one, because you can't let people get away with that. Because if they get away with it, everybody can get away with it. And since people in England were trying to sue them for it, I'm assuming they're not getting away with it. So, but the shit that they did in this game, and like Flarey said, at first it was fun because you're in the world. Usually it was a different world. Whenever you restarted, wherever you started was usually different based on the person. In the first world you were on, when you're trying to fix your ship up, it's fun. Trying to find that stuff is fun. And then you get there, and then you leave the planet. The first time you leave the planet and go to a different planet, it's fun. And then you realize that's it. You can rename. Yeah.
We do the same thing every single time.
You can rename shit, which can keep you entertained for a little bit, but after a while you're just like I want to do something else other than rename things. And so that's why I have it at number one, because they're idiots.
For my number one, I went with Tom Clancy's The Division, because it was a waste of time, and that's it. And for every reason that Travis put in his number two, it went into number one. And the other reason it's below No Man's Sky is because I had so many glitches and bugs with it. I kept falling through
which I never ran into. I don't know why it only happened to you, but the PC version.
I don't know.
The PC version of The Division had its glitch issues too. So that is a big note that it had bad glitches that had been noted by a lot of people, at least on PC.
I hated it more than No Man's Sky, which is why it's not.
Well, I finished The Division at least. Anyway, you can't finish No Man's Sky, I guess. So, well, you can. You have to get to the center of the universe, but I wasn't even about to fucking. I don't care.
Yeah, once you get to the center, you went to a different place, and then you had to get to the center of that as well.
Yeah.
So
there's no point. They said there'd be a point, and then there wasn't. So that's going back to No Man's Sky. But The Division also didn't have a point. Go fuck itself. You're trying to cure shit, but there was nothing. There was no cutscene. Maybe only like one or two cutscenes that even cared about the fucking virus that was going around.
The only good that seems to have come of it is that they might be making a movie about it, which
Jake Gyllenhaal
I would watch.
Better than Maggie.
It was good. As long as they get a good cast and they have a good story, then it should be all right. Anyway,
that is our bottom five list. Again, we are well aware that there may be worse games out there, but we didn't play them, and these is the bottom five list that we played in 2016. I'm hoping to play even more games to be able to flesh out even worse games, but sometimes it's hard to want to play bad games when you know they're going to be bad. Because then you have to spend the money on it. But anyway, that's going to do it for the bottom five list. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
See you.